doesn't get space to tie your hammock or sit, right? Because all the benches fill with cargo. They put like stuff like pallets and boards to block the cargo from falling overboard. They pull along the pulling to keep the cargo from falling overboard, and brace it on the cargo with the woods, the pallet and the uprights to make it like a barricade or protection, I would say. So now people could not pass in the passageway and things like that, right? So after the people start complaining on the MS was there, I told them, I said, sir, we'd be in danger if we're trapped in here. If the passageway is not clear, we die. We have nowhere to escape, right? So because of this now, a lot of people don't like you to be frank and tell them, well, this is not right, do you understand? So you can't tell the authorities anything, because other people take offenses. Now, I forced myself up above the cargo, like the potatoes and so on. So you gotta walk on these things and things. So we're trying to avoid that and tie up the hammock in the roof. So I got to finish that up and so on, but you can't move around. So I asked people like you want to go to the washroom, how you go to the washroom. You can't move. Sailors can't pass, passengers can't pass. You have to ask everybody to, move before you can pass. And there are people with families all on the ground. Okay? All on the cargoes, all on the bags. All these things, right? And these people fight you down, because when I see this thing, I said, man, I didn't see this for a long while, and how come they become so lawless at this time when they're telling you that this is going to go on video, on Facebook, going to see this, and they can't put cargo up top here we are, right? The passengers, right? And now you do the same thing, and we don't have seating accommodation. So I want this guy to know the name, the mate, right? He survived.
What is his name?
I don't, listen to me. The first mate after the captain, he knew that they was partial in doing things, and they knew that they're victimizing people who they don't like. So you can't sit there, and you can't sit there. Where am I gonna sit, man? Now you put me under pressure, because I have to stress out, because I said, man, these guys, they know they're doing illegal business. This is breaching the law. None of them, all of them on one boat. They don't say, no, this is wrong. All they do are the wrong things. You see, he comes with arrogance, right? There's crazy people. They don't want people to be comfortable, right? They were drinking, smoking, and they're brawling, right? So they target me, because every time I watch them, I said, by somebody going to do something about this once, someday, or sometime in the future, sometime or the other. Somebody going to stop this. I'm going to stop it, if I could, and sometime I'm going to stop it. But you have to mobilize yourself. I have to get a team to do this. I have to do it teamwork. I can't do it by myself. Well, I got the teamwork here, because this is what happened, really. Because if this didn't happen, nobody would come. Nobody would understand. So when the people asked me which authority, who I spoke to, I didn't even want to call the security name. I said, man, this boat overload already. They know where all these passengers go. The boat can't move, the boat can't go. I mean, I don't want to break down to these kind of things. But if the security don't know, and the lady asked me his name, I told her his name. You don't know the person. Well, why go and ask me if I know the person? I give you the person's status. He's the MS, the guy that's in charge of dispatching these boats. Why you don't tell people stop loading the boat? They took the boat out in the river, in the stream, Damara River, to bring it back. Because the load was left on the boat. You can't load the car because the boat won't ground there. So they loaded from outside Malaysia, right? Outside. So it was in the deep then. So it won't ground. You keep packing stuff, right? I mean, I'm not against the government, right? I don't care whose thing is going, right? But now it's the government thing of go. And all the thing that's stashed, what is not recording and registered on the cargo, on the manifest, on these freight notes, because I don't think I can explain all this in details to you. You'll have to know how the books make up, or how the books are doing. Because you put one bag on my freight, and you put 10 bags more for somebody else on my same freight. So you took that money. So only one freight you get from me. But you use my freight and freight other people's things. And those are the people who are working in the system. These are the clerk involving all the people, personnels. Right? The supervisor, everybody knew this thing and these things, like what is going on, right? All the time, right? So now it's getting late, right? They're bringing back the boat. Still loading, right? So I cargo on top of the bridge, over the deck, over my head, the captain's bridge. Cargo was downloaded up there. When I heard the noise, I said, this boat is toppling because the noise is coming from above my head. And I drank a lot of water, right? The tumbling, when I look down, the boat going and I can't get back to get the life jacket. So the water comes so fast in my face, it hit me in the split second. When I try to say 10 seconds, 5 seconds, the lady said split second. I said, well, she's right. Because she accurate more than me. I was under the water, drowned in, catch the top. I didn't see the boat after that, disappear. And what I'm saying, right? In the seconds that I realized we toppled, I knew that there's no boat, right? So I have to survive. When I got up there, I couldn't really think about anything else, right? I drank water and was, kind of vomiting and salt. You get the salt was too much, right? And like in my nose and things like that, right? Going in my head. So I gotta see. So I ain't seen nothing. The boat disappeared. So I went looking for some hope that I could hold on back on the boat. Well, this is not dangerous. I'm not afraid, right? I panic somehow. I ain't gonna dead. I said the boat float. If a part left up, I'll catch on back and hang in. But nothing was there. You see my hands? I held on to a jar, right? Without cork. And just throwing over the jar steady to empty out the water, just to survive. Like actually 8-10 hours. So it actually grind to my bones. But I said the body wouldn't be good if I have no life. So it doesn't matter. And the burning, you understand me? All my eyes were burning. I lost my glasses, I lost my documents, I lost my money, I lost my valuables, I lost my stuff. But I wasn't thinking about that, right? I said I didn't want the money because if I focus on the money, I would die. You know what I mean? Get me? So these are the things that I went through, right? And for hours and hours, you're seeing boats, you're seeing lights, and nobody's coming. And then I saw the plane flow across, right? But it was still in land, and the signal went up. So we lost hope again. I said, nobody would get their signal. Nobody would hear that we're mayday, like emergency. We're sinking. I don't think anybody would get that signal. So I knew that I was in danger all the time. So I kept drinking the water, vomiting, hanging, trying to float. Some other guys held on to the same thing, come up with other stuff, come around me, float around, telling, encouraging me to hold on, and keep your head above the water. And
So, sir, if I may, when you were there for the 10 hours before you were rescued by the Coast Guard, did you notice any children?
but if a person like in 2 feet away from you can't see them,
It was very dark.
yeah,
But do you hear any cries
you heard the screaming, right?
of children and men and women?
You hearing the help, everybody calling one another name, right? And bawling. But what I was concentrating on, not to get confused, who is who, right? So even when the security end up on the raft with me, the vanillin and them things where you're trying to float with. Okay, you gotta keep air in your body. Okay, you're drinking the water. I said, who is that man? Well, I just said, Sir Allensworth, are you here? I was very respectful because I said, man, these are people who I knew and they're my friends, like. And I think in a death life situation, right, drunk in. And these guys came. I want to know how these guys appear. I said, man, this is something like miraculous to me. I was beginning to feel good. No fear anymore. I become happy, and then another guy, Muslim, your name has to talk anywhere you go. I said, who is that man? And he identified himself. I said, okay, good buddy, we're together. Oh, he said, well, we gotta make it. But some people do stupid things. Empty a jar with oil, cooking oil. And I soak my clothes and my jersey, we start sliding off. So in the heart of danger, we were in more danger now. I said, man, who's so stupid to do this? Well, you can't beat anybody up because the man would do though. He, is cooking oil he throat. He think it's water. He trying to float like how I floated. Well, me jar ain't had any cart. So I got empty me jar steady. Okay, I'm bubbling again down, you understand? So that's a survival experience. But when I see how they do people when I pick them up and things like that, I was thankful that I was saved, right? But when I was the captain, I said, buddy, I catch in a fight on the water, but you still sleeping here now, but you drunk or something, or it's drugged in your brains. Like I said, the water would beat out all out of with the body, right? I don't want these things to be, against anybody. But I just say, jokingly, I said, man, I catch in a fight on the water. So I could wake. Oh, you sleeping?
So you saw the captain in the water?
No, when we were rescued.
Oh, when you were rescued, you saw him and you talked with him?
Yeah. And I saw the mate. But, he was kind of like, he was the kind of haughty one. Trying to play like I'm the captain. And, I'm the boss. So I want, let him dust this guy for me.
The mate?
They'll dust him for me. I would get to him personally because he was disrespectful all along, right? He said about the overload and come and I shout him with people, y'all can't sit down there, y'all can't sit down there. And he know well they're doing something wrong. They took paid, everybody took paid. I see the woman, she took money. Everybody's getting a 5,000.
Which woman, sir?
The Clark,
the Clarks
that are doing the freights.
Yes, sir.
They took pay.
So, can you identify the Clark at a later date when the government would have started the COI?
Yeah, they want to go in the office and tell them what to do. So they're stopping me. So I tell them exactly why they don't want me to go in the office. Because I do them nothing. I tell them, well, they're bad or they're good. But I want to tell them what they did was wrong. And you did it and you did it. I could identify you. You see all the stuff that's stashed in the old band? When them things start going, you want to know where they're coming from. Those are things that are not accountable for. They come out like from a stash. Just coming behind the people's eyes and load on the crane like.
So you're saying they have a band there, a band at the wharf where they bring out, where they like store stuff and then they will bring it out and put it on the boat?
Yeah. And there's like people Edo and Edo is a heavy stuff, right? So if you put a pallet of Edo, that's like a ton of weight. Like 2,200 pounds on one pallet. You got 2 pallets, you got 4 pallets done. you're going over the weight, and you said the boat don't overload.
So a question, sir. When the boat sank, or just before it sank, were you awake?
Yes, sir.
You were awake, wide awake. And what happened at that moment? You know, there were some reports that the boat had some engine problem. Can you confirm that the boat was going with one engine?
Yes, sir. Right away. That's the first thing I observed. And when we
But
left,
how you know the boat was on one engine? Because it slowed down.
the speed when we left. I
Yes.
said, man, like the boat can't push the weight, but it happened one engine.
So
sir.
it left the wharf with one engine.
Yeah. So they kick till they kick up another. So we know when another. I said, guys, listen, I know well another engine now come on, right? So we didn't traveling all the time. With time when we later the journey when we will meet till tomorrow night. We will reach later. So
Yeah, because of the one engine.
yeah. And another one is you're breaking down steady.
Oh, it was,
You're there adrift.
Yeah, drift.
So while you're there adrift and you catch yourself and you kick a little bit and you kick a little, and one wave come and topside you. This thing was not second chance. This was a second wave. One shake and I lean forward to see what is happening. The other shake I crooks and the whole boat topple over.
So, sir, you are saying to the nation that when you were rescued by the Coast Guard, that they didn't, in your own experience, that you're saying that they wasn't trained
No,
to rescue anybody. These are people who spent years in the Guyana Defense Force, and they work in the Coast Guard. And you are saying they're not trained to rescue anybody. The way they handle the people.
yeah,
That
they say we didn't really prepare for come out, and we didn't ready for this because it was late. Them no till after 11 that they don't sign off them thing and so relaxing like. So when I catch yourself, may know how to tell yourself well. All the time we there floating. When we see, I give up the Coast Guard and the rescue team and so on, right? But as I come, we say, well, all right, because all the lights we see all like this trawler and thing, that man concentrate about our own business. So we know that we ain't got nobody for help. So I get help now. We say, thank God, right? So we ain't blaming anybody for that they're rescued. I'm thankful that I'm rescued, but what I mean to tell you, right? Now this is kind of crazy to know, well, you get a signal and you come 10 hours after, that's crazy, man. My time is different from their time because I was suffering.
So are you the first set of people or group of people that were rescued?
I think they were picking up like 10, 15 people, like I was in the first 19 or so.
Was it on the same boat or a different boat? Can you remember?
Well, they put all of us on one boat. So they conk everybody and transport we with the pilot boat to the shores, right? But these guys are still happy with what they did,
Who are you talking about, sir?
The guys that were rescued and the people who carried the boat and the people who were in authority, like the captain and so on, So after I started missing a few guys, I saw one the second engineer. I saw how was the chief, man. I missed the chief. The chief is gone. I told the chief before I left, I said, I'm going to put you in trouble this trip. You're not going to get off here. You are not going to make excuses for the last time.
But the chief is dead. He's dead.
Yeah, don't tell him. I see you will have a second chance to make an excuse. You tell God this. I say you tell God this. Right? You lied the first time. Tell him you must lie again this time. He gonna defend them that the engine failures and so on, right? When they hit the boat, we were going one night, and they hit another boat, and they said the boat was in the stream and the boat wasn't supposed to.
When did they hit the boat? On the same trip or
The trip
another
before.
trip? Oh,
Yeah.
they hit. What kind of boat they hit? When they were coming back
No,
from Northwest, or when they were
we're
going? So they collided or hit another boat. Was it a small boat, a fishing boat?
A trawler.
They hit a trawler?
A cargo trawler.
And so nobody know about this. This is a trip before this trip.
Yeah.
The captain hit the boat, a
yeah,
trawler.
Yeah. So
And what happened when they hit that boat?
now there's someone like how I know. I say you see anything? I say no. The woman that went upstairs with y'all came tell us that she said she see something like a Titanic. 1 mile away, she see the trawler. And watch there, the trawler in front. And they can't, swerve off the trawler. They gonna run up on the trawler.
So it was the same captain
Same captain. I want to know why they didn't wrong this captain.
since then?
No, before that, 4 or 5 trips. You got the drugs on the boat, like tons of drugs. Why you didn't wrong the captain?
So
man?
what kind of drugs? Marijuana?
Yeah, before.
So basically, they take a lot of marijuana to the northwest.
Yeah.
Who is taking the marijuana?
Yeah, buddy. They business. They the government business, not me business. Yeah, son. So if the captain and the mate, I see skinny teeth coming out. I said, may want to see, I know they're laughing, right? They feel they do something nice. But you see, when I get the right moment, I'm gonna nail these guys. Because they're lawless. They could kill people. I said, suppose this was in the Atlantic or in the ocean. I don't know, if I'm saying the right thing, right? But, and you crash and you kill all of us. You're there in the mid river and you can kill people. You don't even care. A woman is telling me she been up there with them, and so trying to find out if I gonna make a complaint, like I gonna go against the guys them. But I said, man, I didn't see anything. I don't know, but I know he hit. And we ride the trawler, and all me talking, it might be like that for them, but they didn't expose her.
So that was not reported to the relevant minister
No.
or the person in charge of transport and harbor.
Yeah, I think they cover up that because by the time I got to I was complaining about another matter where the person overcharged a guy and his family, and poor families, that he should not have done that. And the people came in with marijuana and the ones that was paid 2,000. And you are in charge of the boat. Why do you take Kaitumo fare, which is 3,000, and the people are begging just for passage? So now you don't want to. I went and complained that you should refund the people money. I wasn't complaining against the captain or anybody, but they knew. And the guy they sent on the boat, this trip here, I say, this guy, this Rasta man, the purser, I'm not so sorry that, I don't want to tell him that, disrespect God's people, right? Disrespect people, advantage them, man. You don't do that all the time. So you lie down comfortable and come again, continue your whole life around this lawlessness. Man, I don't want to behave like this, but this is how these people make you get traumatized, bro. You can't be happy about what they did to you. And if nobody's going to take their complaint, right? Everybody on one side, there's a government, we the government people, we do no wrong. So we expect. I could go and complain against them. I can't. They know they're free. They're scot-free. They smoke the dope from time. Watch. Everybody smoke. The captain, even when he didn't kite, he smokes in the public. They would knock you down with the weed and pass you, and they don't have time with you. God them is the king. We do what we feel like doing. God, this is legal business. The government can't tell me nothing. We work with the government. And we is the boss. You just gotta watch we enjoy yourself. And they have special places where they prepare the drugs, cut up and cook up and sit down and ball up and feel, comfortable. Yeah, so I tell you, the man, the cook man, I'm thinking the man encourage a lot of nonsense, man.
That's in the canteen?
Yeah. So I mean, when go good things what people were, expecting, so people understand or accept, right?
So you said you spoke to a minister when you were rescued.
Yeah.
That is Dr. Frank Anthony.
Yeah.
And then you said you spoke to Doodnauth Indar.
Yeah.
Who called you? He called you?
Yep.
He called you and said he's going to come and meet with you and see what help you need.
Yep.
But you're still waiting on that.
Yep.
So today's Saturday is almost 7 days now.
Yeah.
And you're still waiting on Mr. Doodnauth Indar to come and visit you.
Yeah.
Well, sir, I'm sorry to hear of how you ensure this very terrifying trip on the ship, on the boat. And thank you so much for sharing. And I pray that the Almighty God will comfort you and will guide you in your future endeavors on the trip to Northwest. So before I close, sir, you think you prepare to go back to do your business in Northwest?
Once they bring back the same boat, and they tell me, all right.
No, the boat would not come back. The boat is finished, I think.
So,
They may have another boat.
We got swim and go to Northwest then.
I think they have another boat, but this boat, I'm not sure if it's going to be could be repaired.
You know what I want to tell you? Director Edgel, right? I told him a day. I said, man, you got no wharf in Kaitum. Why you telling the people you got a wharf? This boat ain't got 3 months in Kaitum and you ain't even know. The day when the boat traveling, he commissioned a boat out there. And I go and tell you, I said, man, we ain't got no boat for Kaitum. So then he went and inquire, what made the Kaitum? So he say, oh, the boat traveling today. Now he know though.
So, sir, you were saying that you had a personal conversation with Honorable Bishop Wanegel?
Yes.
You talked to him?
Yeah. I stepped up and shook his hands.
When was that, sir?
When they commissioned
the new boat. And you told him of...
they commissioned a vessel out there. They had a coast guard boat.
Yeah.
So,
and you told him of the situation in the Northwest?
Yeah.
And what did he tell you?
No, man, you're getting in the wharf done building, you don't get to go there. I said, nobody, you ain't got no wharf. We telling people, man. Now I realizing that he clearing that the air that I was reading on his statements that the wharf default it washed back in the water. So technical things. If you mention technical things like feasibility and stuff like that, they want to know if you're a minister too. So you gotta keep cool like if you're stupid. So if me say that's not so, that means that I'm lying, you know what I mean?
So in closing, my dear brother, what would you like to see our president, His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Infant Ali do in this situation here?
Man, the most I think a man gonna do is victimize you for telling them that they're going wrong all the time. I don't expect they look like they're gonna tell you something nice or laugh with you. And they're updating you, but the rescue is too much, too slow, man. All the people float when they're not supposed to be. And when they come and pick up the couple people, then now you gotta go further because people drift away miles from you. Even the captain drift away a mile from you. They took 1 hour later for pick up the captain. You know what I mean? He was so far away from you. So you imagine the captain drift away. And if they don't pick you up, I tell you the rest of people gone. Where to take care of them. I know children be. Sometimes they hold on just like me, 10 old. And I got on heavy jackets and socks and heavy pants, right? Jeans. And these things are taking you down the water. You know what I mean? Carrying you down, you can't survive. So if you had a couple of people who know about life and get better things to hold on upon, they would have survived longer than me. But nobody gonna pick them up. You know, just think about this. Like if you're out of reach or under, you know what I mean, nobody ain't coming to help you. You're helpless. Yeah, I think that these guys should just relax when they don't pick up the couple supervisors with the pick up. They should go on searching for people. Because if they just started a rescue mission, this was day clean. So continue, expand, broad out yourself now. I'm going to pick up people from all over the place. You are come 10 people you save and yeah, we done with job. You ain't done with job. You got to get every single body on the boat back. And you know, they start arguing with me and start fighting with me and start rowing with me and telling me like if I lie that I tell them they had more than 116 passengers. The people want to abuse me for that. They think like they're gonna scare me, like threaten me. So I say, man, why are you doing this? Are you working with transport? They try to tell me I'm no. I said, well, why are you questioning me about the names of the people? I call a name. I call the MS. You know the MS. You know the name of the MS. I'm calling the authorities. Why are you asking me questions about these?
Who are these people?
The people from the ministry.
When you were rescued?
Yeah.
Afterward?
Yeah. So what do you think, buddy? If them can't help me, how I can help them? How I can tell you what is wrong? They don't want to accept what is wrong. I know everything what was wrong. I travel more than 15 years on the boat, man. You understand me? So I know Northwest trip them all the time. You understand me? Every trip I get on Northwest boat because it's a hustle for me. You know what I mean? And after they start pressuring me, I don't know well. Eventually you're gonna squeeze out, you can't continue. But I can get justice before I stop. And I know I'll get justice. Right? Because all them want to play bully by, all gone down there. And you know me telling you well, because I'm glad they gone down, but me have to tell them, man, you shouldn't disrespect me, man. You took my bag and throw them in the car and you use the boss of the boat.
These are the sailors.
Yeah, sailors. You supposed to protect the passenger and secure the thing. Don't behave like if you're the king and you come and sit down and trample me. And you want to bulldoze me. And everybody do something, they want the 5,000, they want the 5,000. You don't pay, don't go up on the boat. What you got, man? Me got drug body, old body. Me got money in my pocket. But left something, you want a 5,000. How we gonna left for 5,000, man? Think no, man. Me working for myself, I working for you. So all the time they want to take something from you. You know, you got money for buy food, you got to survive upon what you got to carry. And they're trying to take out up on your mouth too. You understand me? So it's like right through, I get something with the bullyism, right? Now I can't take the bullyism anymore, you know what I mean? So if the people know again, and I was thanking God that, you know, maybe I will not see the same people again, but I hope that they won't put the same people for put me under oppression again. Like for oppress you when you go there, please, no, carry me thing a kite too more. I can't carry on bag and here. Me not in charge of them, me not in charge of them, me not look after them. So once you get the fight, run, hey, go down, go through the track. So I mean, you really want to know these things now. I want the system change, forget better system. That you tell me, man, these people are trained, they're supposed to talk to you better, they're supposed to have respect when you come in the place. The inspector come in, she wants something. I say, well, all these clown them in them uniform there. What they put in them brown and them thing. It's because they're still doing the same thing. You come in on a brown for asking me for a raise, man. Oh wait, it's really wrong with you, man. Me got nothing, me not crime, me not criminal, me not got nothing for illegal for commit myself, like I commit a crime that I got from you. When I tell a lady they carrying drugs, we're gonna look into that. Every time, we're gonna look into that. If you tell all the authorities, by them are carrying drugs, what is the security carrying drugs? We're gonna look into that. That's all. See, this is all these guys do. So this, yeah, man.
All right, sir. Well, thank you so much for sharing your survival story. Continue to be strong, and I hope that the authorities come and give you the counseling and the help that you need.
Come on. So the drugs thing, what causing this boat? The drugs thing, right? The drug business.
It's the marijuana.
Yeah, the drugs gotta go. The drugs gotta go find some way to peddle through there. So me want to think, well, I know how them peddling it, you know. They know because when they find the drugs, is Muslims can up them. But they know that I watch it every move. I say if it's there in the captain cabin, if it's there in the mate cabin, you look at the mate, you look at him suspicious. You see when they go on the boat, when they pass. You see, I in the waiting room, in the lodge, you see when they pass. Pass. I'm skillful, man. I see when they do these things. But they want, you know, they victimize you. You know, man, don't talk to you. You know, he bad. He's a bad guy. But the bad guy wasn't doing anything illegal. But the guy was doing the things illegal. They weren't pointing their fingers to him. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I was hungry and doing something for a living. You know, and you doing something to, you know what I mean? What I say? There's criminal acts. And nobody ain't checking for you. So you want to victimize people like me. I mean, personally, me. Because they targeted me. I even told my friend to myself, if I die, take my place. He said, no, you're not going to die, you're going to live long. But he know well telling me they're going to kill me one day on that boat. Because I see everything. Now you're going to sell the whole army and me and the military and everybody like if I'm a cartel. That's what you're going to do, man. I understand this. Thank you so much.